curious, right? You have always talked about your love for Chenin Blanc,
Hmm.
and when you planted it in 2020, spring of 2020,
Hmm.
you're like, yeah, you're gonna have to wait a few years, but I've been waiting. I think you said like 10 or 15 years.
Yep.
Why did it take so long? And like, what was your obsession and like desire for Chenin Blanc?
Um, Probably the time that I spent in France really got me on to Chenin Blanc. I did a harvest in a kind of an internship with the Confrérie du Testevin, the Chevalier. They they sent two scholarships down to Davis, and two graduates usually got to go to Burgundy for 6 months, and I was one of the recipients in 2008. So I went to Burgundy for 6 months, but before my internship started, the the wine group from Davis, the Davis Enology and Viticulture Organization,
Hmm.
DEVO, which is like a student organization, we did a trip to Burgundy and to the Loire and to um, Cognac and Bordeaux and all over France.
Wow.
And so for 2 weeks, we kind of traveled around France and tasted wine and set up some great appointments with some really great chateaus and domains around the country. And we spent probably three days in the Loire. And during my time there, I really got into the Chenins that were there. So that was probably my first real focus on it. And then coming back to Oregon and knowing that there's so many great white wines here, but Chenin was very much underrepresented, made me want to see what we could do here in Oregon with it. So when I started back with my family business at Chehalem in 2009 as the assistant winemaker, it was always kind of in the back of my mind.
Right.
I would make the suggestion once in a while, but it never really came to fruition because, we were focused on a much bigger perspective at Chehalem. We had vineyards in three different viticultural areas that we were pulling in fruit from. We did a number of different wines, probably maybe too many wines for, the size of our winery. It was a lot of smaller production, single vineyard focused wines. So I don't think there was the scope that allowed us to add another weird white wine that most people in the US might not know a whole lot about.
Right.
So it took until my father and I separated from Chehalem and we started planting some new grapevines up on Ribbon Ridge that, I made the suggestion again. Hey, what do you think about planting a little Chenin? So as we were planting 4 acres of Chardonnay, we tacked on an acre of Chenin vines to our order from the nursery and
Yay.
found a slightly warmer spot in the vineyard to put it.
Right.
And yeah, it went in. And because of how vigorous Chenin Blanc is compared to things like Chardonnay, we planted Chardonnay and Chenin at basically the same time, but the Chardonnay will not be ready this harvest, but the Chenin will. So
Oh,
probably 2022 will be our first vintage of some Chenin Blanc.
oh, I'm sure you're very happy
I
about
am,
that.
yeah, I'm psyched. I bought a little concrete egg so we can do some
Nice.
concrete fermented Chenin, and maybe we'll do some neutral oak Chenin or maybe
Right.
some stainless steel. So I'm still figuring out in my mind how, like, what style I want to do. I've never actually made Chenin before, but I've made plenty of white wines, so can't be that different, right?
No, of course not. No, that's awesome though.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
really excited about it.
that is great.